Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Wednesday, June 6th, 2024. We're covering three trials here, but first on the Trump docket. Various GOP senators have been chiming in that Judge Merchan, when the sentencing of Trump takes place on July 11th, should not consider jail time. I'm actually wondering if they're going to put in letters to the court. That's how it's done here. You have letters. It also takes a longer process in the federal court system. But July 11th, we will be covering it. But what we are covering in great detail yesterday and today, and going forward probably toward another book, is U.S. versus Robert Menendez. It's getting really nitty-gritty. They showed full day of communications between Rob and Nadine and Jose Uribe, and today is going to be the former New Jersey Attorney General, now Enforcement Chief of the SEC, Grewel. We've covered him on various white-collar cases that get announced here, but he's going to be now as a witness talking about getting pressured by Menendez to drop cases. It's going to be a standoff, and the cross should be something to see. Adam Fee has been poking, he's the lawyer for Menendez, poking holes. Yesterday, I actually got to ask Menendez a question, right in back of me over here. When Menendez went to his car, he stopped and spoke with a Spanish television reporter who actually previously interviewed him in Jersey City. Might put that footage up, but very sympathetic to him questions. How did it go today, Senator? And he spoke in Spanish and said how there were discrepancies. So I asked him about one of the discrepancies, which was they did point out that the chart made it appear that Nadine was definitely saying thank you, I guess, for the Mercedes convertible. But it could have been something else because there were some intervening messages. And it's exactly the same thing that happened in the cross-examination regarding Michael Cohen's calls, that his call to Keith Schiller, now I'm going back to the Trump docket, his call to Keith Schiller, the bodyguard, may have been about this 14-year-old crank caller and not only about having paid off Stormy Daniels. Well, here it's the intervening things between the convertible and the thank you. And maybe, I don't know if Mr. Grewel is going to be able to resolve it. We're also covering U.S. versus Miles Guo. Yesterday they had, what the U.S., the prosecution put on victims. Hey, we got some cheering. I'm going to go check that out before there's an IMF press conference I'm going to cover. I'm going to transition now. There's Bill Hwang, we're covering him, Archegos. The United Nations, we've written a scoop. Dissatisfied staff members have written to Inner City Press that they complained about the head of UNFPA, Natalia Cannon. We've written about her before. She may be very progressive, she may be very media savvy, but she may also be corrupt. She has a son that's been given all kinds of contracts to do video for the UN. Seems highly suspicious. The staff members have complained to OIOS, the internal investigation, the same guys that are supposedly investigating UNRWA, and nothing has happened. So we've published it. Meanwhile, we're not allowed to enter the UN, of course, because we're writing investigative stories about the sinkhole of corruption that is today's UN. We've had two firms, Quinn Emanuel, Dwayne Morris, no follow-through by the UN, no response, but we will not cease. Okay, going in, to be continued.